So far in Java, we've mainly concentrated on if-else statements and loops that have all kind of had a one-by-one sequential evaluation of our files. But Java also has exceptions that can occur that break up the normal flow of processing. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of those and see how we can actually work with them. So I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to call it exception test, nano exception test.java. Once I hit enter, I can go into this file. I'm going to go ahead and declare my class. And I'm going to declare a main method here, public static void main, so we can write our program. So just to quickly identify how exceptions work, one of the things that we could do is we can try to execute a parse int on a value that's not an int. So let's say we go ahead and say system.out.println testing exceptions, and then we say integer.parse int. We'll say 5. System.out.println, we successfully parsed the string 5. Alright, now if we compile this, javac exception test.java, and we run it, we'll see we get exceptions. So testing exceptions, we only make it to that first line, then we run right into a number format exception. So 5 is not a recognizable number. Java, when it's parsing integers, needs to see digits, maybe a negative sign, decimal points, but it can handle everything. So if we go back into our file, you can see here we made it to this line, we made it to the testing exceptions line. We made it to this line, but we didn't actually get any further. We never made it to this line. Now Java has a built-in system for handling exceptions, and it's called the try-catch block. So I can type in try, and then I can also wrap that in catch, and now we can declare that, because we're actually just declaring a variable here, number format exception system.out.println, we caught an exception. So now when we run this, we should see that we're going to attempt to do something here that might cause an exception. Then if we do catch that exception, we're going to run into this statement right here. So let's go ahead and we will type javac exception test.java, and we will run exception test, and you can see here we were able to catch the exception, and we continued to process the file properly. And just to show how this happens, we'll go ahead and enter a statement ahead, system.out.println about to try parsing. We'll also add one, system.out.println we parsed successfully. Alright, now we can take this line out, and we'll go ahead and we will say system.out.println exited the try catch block of code. Now if we compile this, and we run it, you can see here we're about to try parsing. We caught an exception. We actually never get to that last statement in the try catch block because Java interrupts processing as soon as it encounters this exception. We aren't actually able to do this properly, so Java throws the exception. We process the exception here. We don't actually have to do anything, but basically what we're telling Java is that we are handling this exception. So Java has a lot of exceptions built in for a lot of different purposes. When you're dealing with files or networks, you might have to handle exceptions just based on the fact that those things tend to cause problems. So if we can handle those, we can actually make our code much more robust. One of the things that we can do with exceptions is we can try to go ahead and remove all of this code. We'll get Java util_scanner, and we'll say scanner in is equal to new scanner system.in. Now we can actually have Java work a little bit better when we're asking for numbers. So we can use exceptions to our benefit so that we can test how we actually access numbers from the user. So system.out.println enter a number between 1 and 100. Now, if we can retrieve that, string line is equal to in.nextLine, and we can try int I is equal to integer.parseInt line catch number format exception nfexc, and we will go ahead and print that was not a number. We can also test it out. Let's go ahead and test it out inside of our try-catch block. If I is less than 100, less than or equal to 100, and I is greater than or equal to 1, we'll go ahead and tell the user system.out.println. We'll just be polite here. Otherwise, that is not a number between 1 and 100. So if we write our file, hit Control-O, we can write our file. We should have a program that works here now. We'll go ahead and exit. We will compile. We'll run our test. And if we enter, say, character salad, we're going to get that message. If we enter a number that's larger than 200, we'll get that message. And if we enter what's asked, we're able to actually get through the program. So that gives you a basic understanding of how exceptions work in Java. There's a little bit more that we'll cover in later lessons, such as how we can actually handle exceptions that we're not looking for, and what to do about the difference between checked exceptions and unchecked exceptions. Checked exceptions are exceptions in Java that you have to check for, that you have to declare, and unchecked exceptions are exceptions that you do not have to declare, like number format exception. You can try to do that, and Java won't force you to check for that one. But other ones like IO exception, you will have to actually test for when you use those in your code. But thank you for watching, and don't forget to practice your coding.